Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jaden, and in this video, as you read by the title, I'm gonna be sharing my thoughts on the first episode of Series 12 of what used to be my favorite show ever, Doctor Who. There's a lot to talk about, I gotta say. First, before we get into my thoughts on the episode, I just want to say that I am a huge fan of Doctor Who. I first got into it in, I believe it was 2010 during the summer, or close to the time where I had to start going to school. I remember just stumbling upon the Lazarus experiment. I think it was by the end of this episode, and I was honestly instantly intrigued, and I've been a fan ever since, which is like a decade at this point. And I personally love all 10 series of the modern New Who. I think all of them are pretty good, and obviously there are bad episodes in each, but nothing like what we got in Series 11. And yes, I don't like Series 11. If you don't care about hearing my opinions on why I hate it, then just click off this video, because most people who hear anybody criticizing it wouldn't want to hear anything about it. But yeah, I do hate Series 11 for many reasons, which I've shared on Reddit many times, and there's so much to talk about that I might actually do a separate video. But if I have to simplify it, it was terrible writing, shoved in politics that didn't have to be there. Some of the episodes weren't justified in their existence, but I guess that's getting too much into specifically what I hate about each specific episode. Terrible choice for the Doctor. I'm not gonna comment on whether Whittaker is a good actress, because I've even heard from people who also hate Series 11 that she was actually good in other shows and everything, so I'm not gonna comment on that. But she is definitely a terrible choice for the Doctor. She might not be a terrible choice for what Chibnall is going for with this Doctor, but with what he's doing with her, she's not the Doctor. She's just not the Doctor. At best, she is a parody of the Doctor, which is also one of the things that I hate about Series 11, where she's not the Doctor. She acts like a parody of David Tennant and Matt Smith, copying all their mannerisms and everything, and facial expressions, but she doesn't do them as good and lacks any of the charm or the gravitas of those two actors. She was a terrible choice for the Doctor, and honestly, the most recent episode just proved it more to me, although there was definitely some improvement in her acting in that one, but we're gonna get into it. And yeah, Series 11 just had so many problems. It's like literally the worst season of television that I've ever seen. Like, you probably won't get this comparison, but I'm still gonna compare it anyway. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and The Walking Dead has a spin-off show called Fear the Walking Dead, and after its third season it got a bit of a reboot, and ever since it has been fucking garbage. And when I say garbage, it's garbage. Like, even the main show got some bad seasons, but that compares in no way. It's bad. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And I'd still watch its most recent 5th season, which was even worse than the 4th one, anytime, any day. I actually enjoyed the several episodes that I saw from it more than any episode of Series 11 of Doctor Who, and I watched every single one of them. And yeah, I'm gonna get into it in a separate video now. I've decided to do it, but goddamn do I hate Series 11. And I'm kind of happy to say that there was some improvements from Series 11 to Series 12 in the first episode. And by the way, there's gonna be spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, just click off this video. Right off the bat, I wrongly assumed that there was a bit of a change in the soundtrack that Akinoa was using, because by the way, another of the things that I hate about Series 11 is the fucking music. Akinoa sucks. Morigold is the best fucking composer I've ever heard. Akinoa is garbage. Maybe not for any other generic show, but for Doctor Who, he's fucking garbage. And you would say that maybe I hate change and all that jazz. But I'm sorry, you shouldn't have such sharp of a change. Like, how can you just go from a fucking orchestra composer who uses very orchestral and epic music to somebody who literally uses ambience? I mean, are you fucking kidding me? And you expect me to not be annoyed by that fact? Like, how am I supposed to just take it? So yeah, there were definitely so as I was saying there were and yeah, I mistakenly thought that there was gonna be change in the music or something, because in the opening of the episode, before we actually get into the proper part of the episode, like in the cold open, the music sounded very Lord of the Rings like, and I actually really like that. Using music like that would be actually a really good replacement to what we had. But going for generic, it's not even sci-fi music, it's just generic ambience. It was bad. And I mistakenly thought, because in the rest of the episode, the music, yes, it's definitely better than Series 11, because at least you can fucking hear it, but it's still generic fucking trash. Oh, we have a spy scene. Let's use a fucking generic song that is used in spy movies. I mean, that kind of makes this being a part, like, how am I supposed to even take anything that happens in the episode seriously when it has that music like that? It's a nitpick, I get it, but fucking hell. But I guess I get the complaint of people that people had for Morigold and his music being way too in your face. I mean, it's definitely gonna be in your face and annoying if you don't like the music, but if you don't like the music, why are you watching Doctor Who? Like, I'm sorry, but if anybody complains about anything from series 1 to 10 of New Who and hates something about it and likes that Doctor Who has now changed it, you're not a fan. I'm sorry, but you're not a fucking fan. If you hated those seasons because of something and you now love it, you're not a fucking fan. I know that sounds gatekeepy, but that's how I feel. And I'm done just hiding my feelings because somebody might get annoyed or angry or offended. But that doesn't mean that you have to love everything about the show. I have my own complaints about the show, but if you don't love the basics of it, like if you cannot enjoy every single episode of New Who, at least at some level, then you seriously, why are you even watching it? And so we have the opening theme, which, again, it's another one of the things that I hated about Series 11. It's way too similar to David Tennant's theme. I mean, this era of Doctor Who is literally a rip-off of Tennant's Who, and I'm gonna get more into why probably by the end of this review, because I'm gonna slowly go through some of the scenes which I had an impact. They had an impact on me. And so the intro, yeah, as I said, it's way too similar, it's way too short, it looks terrible, it's terrible to look at, I hate it, especially after Peter Capaldi's fucking intro, which was awesome. Yeah, you cannot live up to that. But after the intro, we have the first scenes with each of the characters, and I like that the show actually acknowledged that they acted that they had no responsibility, no consequence to their travels. Like there was nobody cared about where they were on their travels or anything. I like that the show actually acknowledged that people would be questioning that fact that they're gone constantly. Even though it's a small thing, I like that. But then here comes 11 again with her stupid slang, and I don't know what the fuck is Gymno thinking with making her talk like this, unironically, on top of everything. Are you fucking kidding me? Honestly, she's so fucking annoying. I hate her. And as I said, she's not the doctor, so I'm not gonna even call her the doctor. I'm just gonna call her 13. And then the MI6 gathers everybody and takes them to their base or whatever it is. And we meet Stephen Fry, was his name? I don't know. I think that's the name of the actor. And he, funnily enough, instantly assumes what we all wish was the case of Graham being the doctor. And then here comes 13 again, having to fuck up a really interesting scene by saying, "I've got an upgrade." Are you fucking kidding me? I'd say it's still not as annoying as some of the lines she had in Series 11. But, okay. I get some people had very strong reactions of a female doctor. And I think people are completely fine feeling like that. You don't have to like it. You don't have to love it. You're completely free to your opinion. Especially like the show was, the main character of the show was like a man for 50 years. You cannot fucking expect people to just lay down and get over it. You just can't. Like, how does that fucking happen? I'm really pissed off how everybody expects a fan to just accept shit and are called toxic when they do not. Like, change for the sake of change is not necessarily good. I personally was really looking forward to the change, not because I thought it was necessary, but because I like it, and especially because I'm personally trans, so I was really looking forward to going through this change at the same time as the Doctor. It was a really interesting thought, but fucking hell did it fuck it up. So another good thing about the episode was actually the creatures. I don't know if they could be considered aliens or whatever, but the creatures, I thought it was really good. It was very reminiscent of I don't know, the things I loved about the most iconic Doctor Who villains, like the Silence, the Weeping Angels. Like, it was really cool, and I now realize how fucking similar they are to the ghosts from David Tennant's Series 2 finale. And again, as I said, this era of Doctor Who is just a rip-off of RTD's era of Who. And yeah, especially with what happens later on, it's very, very similar to that, and most likely they're gonna end up being Cybermen, and I really hate that fact. I really hate that fact. Like, we just had the Cybermen in Series 10. But I do really like the aliens, and I like the conspiracy and everything, how they want to take over the universe. And also they kind of remind me a little, they're also very similar to the Boneless from Capaldi's, I think it was episode 6. It was a really great episode back then, in my opinion. Then for some reason we go to some agent or something called O, and I actually like the character and the performance of his a lot. He was actually really interesting and intriguing, and honestly I'd rather have him before the reveal as a fucking companion to the Doctor instead of wooden performance Ryan just their Yaz and decent Graham. Because he's actually much more interesting. And he actually ends up revealing some things about the Doctor to Graham, because he apparently knows her from when she was a man, which is fine, I guess. He wasn't ever mentioned, but okay. And Graham react, and he tells Graham that the Doctor was a man, and Graham then shockingly spits out his drink or something like that, and he says that he thought she was joking. I gotta say, I hate Series 11, which I already know. I think I'm gonna hate Series 12 for different reasons. But I think if Series 12 started out, Series 11 started out like this, I wouldn't hate this as much. Because so many of the building blocks of a show were fucking missing in Series 11. It's like he was writing a fucking kids show. And even kids shows have, cartoons have better writing than his. Because in cartoons you usually don't really have to care about explaining everything. And people are fine with that because it's a cartoon. But in the show we've gotten so much good, deep writing, and it was just bad. Like something like this, talking about the Doctor's gender and the fact that she sometimes refers to herself as a man and says that she used to be a man. How the fuck have they not questioned her before? How? Like, it wasn't even addressed for a second there. Why there wasn't a scene in which they asked the 13 about her past and she just refuses to answer. It's so fucking easy. You can even show it in any of the episodes. They're too long anyways. And yeah, I'm kind of interested to rewatch the episode to see O's reactions, because there might have been some subtle acting that I didn't pick up on at first because of the review, because anything else honestly in between this scene and the review I don't really fucking care about. It's complete padding. So they go to the owner of search engine called Vor, and he apparently is together with these fucking alien creatures, and they follow him to his party or whatever. Then the Doctor 13 faces him and talks to him. He calls her crazy. I fucking agree with you, man. And he runs away. They follow him. He gets on a plane. They get on the plane, and then O reveals that he is the Master. And I gotta say, I did not see that coming, but it still wasn't a satisfying reveal to me, at least. Personally, at first I thought that they were actually in a simulation or something. I don't know. At some point they were transported into a simulation, but apparently they're not, and it really came out of nowhere to me. And I especially thought that because how otherwise would there be a fucking flying house beside the plane? And now that we know that he's the Master, it makes sense. But yeah, and here comes why I'm saying that this is literally a ripoff of Tennant's era of Who. I'm not gonna say or comment on whether Sacha Dhawan, or whatever his name is a good actor. I don't think he's bad because, as I said, I enjoyed him as O. But the second it's revealed that it's the Master, he just goes full on John Sim. Is his name John? I think it is. The guy who played the Master in Series 3. He literally parodying him, and like with Jodie parodying David, and him parodying Sim's Master. It's like a shittier version of Ten and Zero. Are you fucking kidding me? So, last season, you went in a completely new, different direction that... So, last season, you went in a completely new direction without giving a shit about the fans and how they would feel and expecting us to just roll with it. And now, you're just ripping off what we've already seen and enjoyed already many times. And yeah, like overall I don't even know how to feel at this point, because on paper it was a fine episode. It's probably the best episode Chibnall has ever written. And I'm not gonna count his episodes from the older seasons, because I feel like a lot of them might have been rewritten, and just these old ones actually have feel like Doctor Who, because this still doesn't, or at the very least it's not a good Doctor Who. I mean, if you enjoyed, fucking fine, but what am I supposed to do? It's a show that I loved for like 10 years of my life. I cannot just forget about it. And yeah, and like, I don't know how to feel about this now, because it felt like a fine episode, but I just don't care at this point. Like last season I was pissed off by almost every single episode because I cared. At this point, I don't care. I think my love for the show has been completely destroyed at this point, or at least for anything in the future, until Chibnall and Jodie and everybody involved in the show right now just fucks off. I have the love for the first 10 series of New Who, and I guess I might just go back to Classic Who, which, by the way, some people say that this season and that Series 11 was very similar to Classic Who. I fucking disagree. I haven't seen Classic Who. I've watched reaction on YouTube of the 5 Doctors, I think it was, and I've just seen very, very little. I've seen also the Doctor Who movie from 1996 and haven't watched it, but I have seen trailers for older seasons, and it still fucking feels like Doctor Who more than Series fucking 11. It feels like, I personally don't want to get into Classic Who because like I've already seen New Who, so it would just feel like something is missing, but not in the way something is missing in Series 11. It just feel like the same way like when you look at a picture of somebody you know as an adult, but you look at a picture of them as a child, you like the way you feel then is how I feel for that. Like, it would just feel like the show hasn't grown into what I love it being. And yeah, Classic is still Doctor Who more than Series 11. Series 11 is... I don't even know what it is. But yeah, I'm trying to not go full on rambly. So hopefully I got everything I could across. I don't know if I'm gonna be reviewing the second episode, because I don't know if I wanna bother to watch it. I might just read a review or watch a review or just read a recap or something, because I don't know, I don't care. Like, ultimately the way I feel is like I don't care about whatever fucking happens in that episode. Like, my love is just has been drained. I can only get pissed off at this point. I don't know. That's why honestly I don't know if how fair it is for me to judge it, but before this episode I was kind of mildly hype about it because of the trailer, because it actually looked really good. Different, but good, and definitely better than last season. But I don't know. After the first episode, even though I enjoyed it as I was watching it, it just left me empty, and it kind of drained any love that I had for that I could have possibly had for this season. Like, last season was a chore, but I guess I was able to go through it because, as I said earlier, because I actually was still hopeful, but I guess I've just lost any fucking hope about it. I'm probably not gonna care about this until Jodie is gone, until Chibnall is gone, until we just had a whole new generation of Doctor Who, I guess. Which is really sad, because I don't have that many shows to check out, but I guess now I have more free time. Maybe I'll check out The Witcher, because I've heard a lot of good things, and I've seen some reactions of it on YouTube, so maybe I'll check it out. And personally, I don't consider Series 11, 12, and the 13th Doctor canon. Like, for me, she doesn't exist. She's not the Doctor in any way, shape, or form. This is not happening. In my personal headcanon, she is not the Doctor. I guess if Doctor Who never gets back on track and never gets good again, I guess it's at least good that we end it on a high note and on a story that makes sense and that it's good, that being Twice Upon a Time. And I might do reviews to every single episode, because why the fuck not? Because I love doing these reviews and everything. And I'm glad that we actually ended on a story. Like, it feel at the very least, the story feels like it goes full circle with the first Doctor and the 10th Doctor and the 12th Doctor. Like, it feels like it makes sense. Like, it feels like it was always planned out, which is a great thing with Moffat, where even though it doesn't end up as planned, it always ends up making sense. But I'm gonna get into it more whenever I get to review episodes of the show, because I think I'm gonna do that this year. So if you're interested in that, stick around, so I know that I'll have an audience for that actually. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Also check out in the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me there, and to my Wattpad, where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you do enjoy my stories, or simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to Patreon or Subscribestar, where you can pledge support over there. But if you don't want to do that, you can still help me out by liking this video, subscribing, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think that's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!